Okay, so happy Wednesday, you guys. Feeling a little down today, but you know what? That's the cycle. Sometimes you don't feel super positive, and that's okay. But today I'm going to be talking about some solutions to a few of the things that I was talking about in my Sunday sermon, and how you can detach yourself from all of these things that are ruining your Maslow's hierarchy and maybe save some money, right? Because the more that I kind of look into the situation that we find ourselves in and really try and figure out what exactly it is that's frustrating people and why so many young people specifically feel disenfranchised. And I have a couple of things, and the biggest one is financial literacy. And I mentioned that in a couple of my videos, and that's what we're going to be diving into today. Couple of notes before we get started. I am not a certified accountant. I am not a economist. I am not a approved financial lender, investor, or on any sort of advisory board whatsoever. And the only qualifications that I have for speaking about this is the fact that I am financially irresponsible. And I recognize this, and I have been here, I have done this, I have spent this money, and I have the bank account to show for it, or lack thereof, rather. Let's put it this way, I have the credit card debt to show for it, all right? So that is what gives me the authority to speak on this with any kind of veracity, okay? So again, you don't have to take my word for any of this. You can go out, you can do your own research, and frankly, you should be examining your own personal spending habits, which is the whole point of this. But you have to be honest with yourself, okay? You have to be honest about what exactly you're doing and get a handle on it, okay? Because it's all well and good to talk about how you don't have opportunities, you don't have the same kind of financial freedom and ability to, overcome these things the way that older generations do. And I see this a lot. I see this particular brand of dissatisfaction expressed frequently across the internet. And I've got a couple of issues with it. So, first off, recognize your privilege. All right, again, if you're watching this video, baby, you have privilege. All right, and you've got enough privilege that you can take the reins of your life and figure out a way forward. All right, so you have privilege. If you don't like what I'm telling you here, that's fine. You don't have to listen to me. You can take yourself elsewhere, and hey, that's that. But if you're mad at me or you have something nice to say, please comment, because the algorithm. But anyways, let's get into it. So the other little fun thing that allows me to kind of talk about this in any meaningful way is my man friend is in finance, all right? And so I spoke to him about some of these things, and here's what I have come up with, all right? We have some solutions. We have monthly expenditure breakdowns, and we're gonna talk about some of these. All right, it's gonna be probably a bit rambly, maybe a bit more than rambly, but this is my video, and I'll do what I want. Okay, so first off, I made initial what I'm calling micro solutions. So what I mean by that are little things that you can do in your daily life that will drastically change the way that you navigate, right? So first thing, stop living on your phone. Get off of the phone, disconnect, get rid of some of these social media apps, Like, I understand that you may or may not have to be involved on them based off of your work, and I get that. All right. And I know that everybody wants to be interconnected and not miss anything. I understand that. I also cannot disconnect entirely. It's just the reality of our existence these days. But learn how to disconnect. Learn how to recognize when the phone is sucking up time from you that could be better spent elsewhere. All right. Because the reality is that everything that's on your phone, 99.9% of it is corporations trying to sell you on something. Okay, it's all marketing. They're trying to separate you from your dollar, all right? Which is what this whole video is about, is like the separation of you and your dollar, and how do we fix it? Okay, so first thing, get off your phone. It's bad for you. It's bad for your mental health. It's bad for your mental processing powers. It's just bad for you. Go to the local library and check out a book. Start reading. I know it's difficult. It's like a muscle, like anything else. Practice it. It's good for you. Language is important. So get off of your phone. That's also going to help, again, with the Maslow's hierarchy of rebuilding that first layer of emotional needs that have been eroded, right? Is the interpersonal connection. You can't do that on your phone. Drop the phone, go hang out with people in person, all right? Even if it's your family that you've been told to no longer speak to, okay? Go talk to real people, even if you disagree with them. 9 times out of 10, it's even better to talk to people that you disagree with. But anyways, first one, stop living on your phone. Second one, cancel your subscriptions. Cancel the subscriptions. If it's a monthly thing that's coming out of your account and it's not your rent or your student loan payment or, your monthly minimum payment to your credit card, cancel it. Get out of it. Don't do it, baby. Okay? Cancel everything, and then you can come back in and kind of decide what is absolutely necessary, right? One of the things that I still pay for, I pay for Spotify. That's it. That's my loan. Well, no, I pay for Spotify, but I also have to pay for Apple Memory, right? Which that's another little insidious one that no one wants to talk about. But anyways, cancel your subscriptions, all right? 3, that was number 2. Number 3, learn how to cook. Okay? Stop getting delivery. Delivery fees are going to ruin you. Stop doing it. Also, depending on somebody else to feed you is relinquishing the autonomy that you have over what goes into your body. Okay? They're keeping you fat and unhealthy for a reason. Stop it. Stop doing delivery. Learn how to cook. It's cheaper. Trust me. All right? Stop consuming. Klarna in these afterpay things, stop it. Quit it. Get out of it. Stop buying things. It's not going to fill the hole that's been left behind by a lack of interpersonal connection and personal fulfillment through individual interests. And I see you. You're not going over there. I see you. She's been trying to nest under the sofa for the past couple of days. It's that time of year. No, don't go over there. So stop buying stuff. And from a broader political perspective, if you have an issue with quote unquote capitalism, but you're still paying for an Amazon Prime membership, you're still getting, I see you, stop it. No. No. Give me 1 second. We're going to go ahead and solve this right now. Yeah? Ooh, come here. Come here. Come up. No? Okay. Well, there you go. We're at least off the floor. Okay. We've at least gotten the bird off the floor. So that's something. All right. Stop consuming. It's like you gotta quit. Okay? If you're still buying stuff on Amazon and complaining about your position in the economy, don't want to hear it. Stop it. You are feeding the beast. Be quiet. Okay? 5. This is for everybody, but this was a little note that I made specifically for the boys, which I know, ladies, y'all already got a lot that you're spending money on that you shouldn't be. Okay? DraftKings, sports betting. Stop it. Stop it. Stop with the sports bettings. It's bad for you. Don't do it. It's impacting your financial future. Okay? So those are our micro solutions. Let's go through them again. Stop living on your phone. Get off your phone. Go live real life. Make real friends and establish personal hobbies that add interest to you, that when people invite you over for a dinner party, you're pleasant to talk to, okay? And you add something, all right? Get off your phone. Cancel your subscriptions. Stop it. Stop spending money on it. You want to bitch about capitalism? Stop giving them your money, baby. Stop giving them your money, all right? Delivery. Learn how to cook. Learn how to cook. This is a key individual, like primary, like bottom tier of the hierarchy, like requirement to survive. You need to learn how to cook. Learn how to do it. They're keeping you captured by creating the illusion that a corporation is needed to feed you. No, you don't need Factor. You don't need HelloFresh. You don't need whatever slop bowl is being delivered to you. Okay, you don't do, like, stop it. Okay. Now, so stop buying delivery. Stop consuming, and get off of betting sites. All right, like, come on. All right. Now, financial literacy 101, according to the man of this house. Okay, so 2 different directions you can go in. You're either employed by a company, or you're independently employed, or you're unemployed. Okay, so if you're employed with a company, invest in a 401k. All right, most companies offer a 401k, which is a retirement plan, and a lot of places offer matching, which means that whatever percent of your paycheck that is automatically taken out and goes directly into the 401k, the company will match it. Do that. Always do it. Always, at the bare minimum, meet the company matching, okay? If the company says that they will match up to 6%, you better be sure you're putting in 6%. That way, 12% of your paycheck every single time is going into a retirement account, okay? Do that. If you aren't employed by a company that has a 401k, the alternative to that is an IRA. All right, that is an independent retirement account. You can get a regular IRA, you can get a Roth IRA, and any bank will give you an IRA. All right, there's no excuse. Go get one. Start investing into a retirement account. You know how they always talk about, oh, you need to tithe? Baby, put that 10% into your wallet, okay? Put that 10% towards your future, okay? That's what you need to be doing. Now, why do you need to be doing this now? So you need to start he called it compounding. All right, you need to. I feel like I had like a better compounding. Yeah. So you have to have compounding interest. That means that over time the amount grows, and you accrue cash to invest in capital. Okay, that's what the goal is. The goal is to accrue cash so that you can invest it in capital. All right? That is how you make a long-term nest egg for yourself. Okay? So, before you do that, you need to be able to have 3 months of your expenses set aside. All right? And by expenses, I mean like your rent, your food, you know, a little, like couple $100 in case something happens and you have a health emergency, right? You should be able to figure all of that out based off of your own personal information and establish what that monthly nut has to be for you to survive without a job for 3 months, okay? And cover all of your basic expenses. So you need to figure out what that nut is. You need to get that, and then once you surpass that nut, which should always be in your savings account. You should always have that nut in your savings account for a rainy day. Don't touch it, don't mess with it, leave it there, okay? Anything after that, you can start compounding so that you can invest in long-term capital, okay? Now, what does that mean by investing in capital? So, investing in capital means that you are going to go look for an index fund. Now, what is an index fund? An index fund is something like Robinhood, E-Trade, TD Ameritrade. These are, you can Google them. Kiwi agrees. Index funds are very fantastic. So, go put some money in an index fund. Now, at the very basis of what a index fund does is that an index fund is where you take a little portion of your money, you put it in the fund, and they mirror the market. So when the US economic market goes up, your money goes up, right? It's like buying Tesla. Everybody wants to complain about how much money Elon may get in the future for growing the company to a certain size. Babies, you want to hitch your little red wagon to that train, okay? Go buy an index fund. That way, when his company goes up, your investment also goes up. And that is capitalism, okay? So go participate. Stop bitching about how it's taken everything from you, because it's not. You're just not investing in the market, all right? So go save some money, put some money into an index fund, and your doll hairs will start making their own doll hairs, all right? Because the economy has done nothing but explode. Nothing but explode. And especially if you're looking at this for something long term, I mean, we can go into a whole nother, like, granule examination of the US stock market and how you should totally be a part of it. So, and that's why capitalism is great. It's because you can do it. You can download the Robinhood app. You can go to E-Trade and you can put, $100 in, and there you go. All right. And let's say that, all right, let's look this up. Okay. So let's see. S&P year to date return. All right. Okay, so right now, the S&P 500 has had a year-to-date return of around 16%. Okay, so let's do this math. All right, so let's say that all you did this year was put $100 into an index fund, and it mirrored the market exactly. You would have gotten $16 this year, okay? 16% return. Now, let's say that that was $1,000. That would mean that without doing anything, your $1,000 from the beginning of this year to now went up $160, all right? And if you keep adding to it every year, that's going to exponentially expand, right? So let's say that it was $10,000. That means you went from $10,000 to $11,000 and some change, all right? And that's just this year. Let's see, S&P, let's start in 2019. Okay, so, wow, that's insane. That is insane. Okay, so let's say that you invested in, let's say you invested in the S&P in 2019, okay? 2019 was the very first year that you decided to put a little bit of money into the S&P 500, okay, in a index fund, right? You put $1,000 in there, you don't look at it, and all you do is you come back in the November of 2025 and you check on it. Your money's more than doubled. Your money, the S&P since 2019 has gone up by 170%, okay? 170%. Now, let's imagine, so one of the fun little tidbits that I figured out today is that to be considered a VIB Rouge at Sephora, you have to have a minimum spend of $1,000 every year. All right. So let's say that instead of spending $1,000 at Sephora every year you put $1,000 into your index fund. All right. And let's say that you're like me and you started immediately doing this as soon as you got a job, which would have been about 10 years ago. So let's say, well, it would have been longer than that, but yeah, it's about 10 years is about right. Okay, so let's say you did $1,000 a year for 10 years, right? That's $10,000 of your investment. That means that you went, let's see, and let's get an even more accurate. because it's done even better than that in 10 years. So, if you had put $1,000 into the every year for 10 years since 2015, you would have gone from $10,000 to $37,000 every year. Kiwi, stop that. Oh my God. Get out of here. Come here. Come here. Come here. Thank you. That's enough of that. You know what? Here. We'll say hello. Say hello. Hello. Yeah. Very cute. Very attractive. All right. All right, you guys. Pardon the parrot interruptus, okay? But, like, how nuts is that, okay? If you invest $1,000 every year, that's it, just $1,000. If you can scrounge up $1,000 in a year, that is $2.75 a day, okay? $2.75 a day. $1,000 every year into an index fund, you've over tripled your money, and that's in 10 years, okay? So go invest. That's why, come on, financial illiteracy, it's why this is so much funny, so important, okay? And it is incredibly funny. And sometimes I just can't speak English. Okay, so to get into the granularness of this, all right? So, and I don't really know how to get into a lot of this stuff because I watched another video. There's so many things that I want to talk about, right? Like this idea of luxury poverty, right? I mean, and I didn't even include some of these things in this spreadsheet that I'm about to talk about. So like concert tickets, $500 for a Taylor Swift concert, not including hotel, room and board, food, if you have to travel to go see Taylor Swift, okay? Like you're talking about at least $1,000 minimum. All right, Labubu's, going to the gym. I didn't even put a gym membership into this Excel spreadsheet. I want you to know that, okay? So, and people, younger generations complaining about not being able to buy a house, okay? So, let's see. Let's see. All right, I forgot to look up some of this. Okay. All right. Complaining about not being able to get a house, right? And we should probably go into that in a separate one because a lot of this, you know, this is more granular stuff. So I think we're going to circle back to that. Let's get to my spreadsheet here, okay? Because I wanted to get into the nitty-gritty of what this breakdown looks like. Like, why do you feel broke all the time? And it's because, honey, you are spending all your money, okay? So I did this Excel spreadsheet based off of two different incomes, all right? The average income right now for across the board is around $65,000 a year, okay? So that's the average income, $65,000 a year. And most entry-level jobs are kind of around that. I know that's not true for everybody, but this is the average for a reason, okay? Average. A lot of the post-grad jobs typically offer even less than that. So $50,000, but we're looking at the average, $65,000 a year. That is what I'm considering basic. If you make average income in the US, which is about $65,000, I have a breakdown for that. And then on the other side, I have a breakdown for if you make $150,000. All right. So $65,000 a year after taxes comes out to about $48,000 to $53,000 a year, depending on where you're at. Okay. Now, so that's what you're starting out with, is about $48,000 to $53,000 a year, or if you have a larger income, you're looking at about $98,000 to $110,000. So I have only done the complete math totaling for $65,000, all right, which is 48. We're going to say it's about 50 after taxes. So about $50,000 after taxes. If that's what your income looks like, that's what we're going to be going through. Okay. So the average rent in the United States right now is $1,750 a month. I left out groceries because grocery expenditure is a little different, but on average, most people spend about $400 a month on groceries, okay? And the reason I left it out is because food delivery and food delivery services are really popular right now. And food delivery services, you're looking at around $200 to $300 a month for food delivery services, all right? And that is if you get 2 meals delivered a week. 2 meals. That's bare bones. That's not delivery for, like, that's not like HelloFresh for every meal that you do. That's 2 HelloFresh meals a week. And you're still talking about $200 to $300 a month. Okay? For 2 meals. All right? It's more if you get the whole thing, right? You're closer to about $2,000 a month if you have Factor do every meal for you, okay? So then we've got nutritional supplements, which I didn't even put nutritional supplements into my math here, okay? I completely left that out because I didn't think about it until later. But nutritional supplements, I mean like going to GNC for my bros, right? Are you going to GNC? Are you buying your pre-workout? Are you buying your tub of protein powder, right? So let's see. Protein. All right, so the Optimum Nutrition Gold Standard 100% whey protein, 74 servings, is $84. Okay, $84 just for that. All right. And if we're talking about women's supplements, you're talking about a multivitamin supplement, $33 a month. Bloom Trio, which we see ads for that all over the stinking place these days. If you want to get their Trio bundle, that's $75 a month. And $75 is with the discount. So regular price, you're talking about $90 a month in just powdered supplements. All right. And then if you look at your most popular collagen supplement, $54 a month. Okay. And then we get into streaming services. So obviously you can bundle various things, but you've got Amazon Prime, Netflix, Disney, Hulu, ESPN, HBO, YouTube, Spotify, Apple Music. Then you've got your miscellaneous Amazon expenditures. You've got, let's say that you buy something on Shein every once in a while. Let's say that you go to Marshall's on the weekends. And, what about your beauty expenditure, right? You're buying cleanser, exfoliation, toner, essence, serum, a face mask, eye cream, moisturizer, sunscreen, right? Your makeup, mascara, eyeliner, shadow, primer, foundation, concealer, contour, blush, bronzer, setting powder, setting spray. And then to tack it on at the very end, if you are part of the filler generation, you're talking about anywhere from $400 to $1,200 every 6 months, which breaks down to $66 a month to get the recommended top-ups on fillers, okay? And that's if you get one syringe. $66 a month, okay? So, what does that all total up to? So, when I added up your minimum spend of rent, utilities, and food delivery, right? Rent, utilities, food delivery, and subscription services. And I did bare bones minimum cost subscription services, and I did not go through and like parse it out with packages, because I went under the assumption that a lot of these most people will have already had. So we went bare bones. You're gonna have ads, you're not getting the premium version, you're getting bare minimum subscription level for each of these things. All right, and YouTube is free. So after tabulating all of that up, which again, this includes your Amazon Prime membership, your Netflix membership, your Disney membership, Hulu, ESPN, HBO, Spotify, Apple Music, right? Then you end up spending $3,449 a month. And that's just on your food, utilities, rent, and subscription services. All right? And $3,449 a month, it may not sound too terrible, right? On its face. And then, well, what is that per year? That brings us to $41,000 and some change. So already, without even getting into what your cosmetic expenditures are, what your, little luxuries that you're choosing to splurge on are, that's not factoring in any alcohol consumptions. That's not factoring in any nights out during the week that you may go out with friends. It's not factoring in whether you decide to go to a concert or not. That is literally just basic as basic can get subscription services for the most popular subscription, like watch services that are out there, right? Like, you're gonna have ads on every single one of these with this pricing, okay? This is not the ad free. and like, you're not gonna get all of the NFL games with this. You're not gonna, have, these are like peasant level subscriptions, okay? And so it's peasant level subscriptions, your rent, your food, and utilities. All right? That's it. That's it. And you're still managing to spend over $40,000. All right? And just a reminder, $40,000 is just about what your entire budget for the whole year is, including whatever you may decide to set aside as a savings plan, or whatever you're having to pay towards personal debt, right? So after just these quote unquote basics, the average person has already spent $41,000, which means that you have $8,000. Let's do this properly, actually, because it's a little bit more than $41,000. So 40, you know what? And we'll be generous. We'll say that you are making $50,000 a year, okay? So let's say that after taxes, you are making $50,000 a year, all right? And then with your rent, your food, your utilities, and all of that, it comes out to $41,398, okay? Which means that after you pay for your quote-unquote necessities, you've got $8,000 and some change. You've got $8,600, all right? Now, let's say that I did some math on this. So if you just meet the bare minimum to be a Sephora VIB Rouge card holder, which is not a credit card, it's just their rewards point system, okay? You have to spend a minimum of $1,000. So, and we all know that we spend more than $1,000, okay? But let's be generous. Let's say that you do $1,000. So that's minus $1,000 right there, baby. So now you're down to $7,602, all right? So $7,602, and that's not including your, let's say that you spend $1,000 for Taylor Swift and, your outfit and going out and spending time with friends and drinks and alcohol and all of that, right? You end up spending, let's say, we'll be generous. She went on a budget. She got a decent ticket. Let's see, cheapest Taylor Swift tickets. All right, cheapest Taylor Swift tickets. We're not going to be able to find it now. It's about $600. Okay, so you're looking at about $600. We're going to be generous. She went a little budgety on her outfit. We're going to say $900. So take that out, down to $6,000. All right, and again, that's not factoring in whether you got filler, which can go from anywhere from $400 to $1,200 a month. That's not factoring in your monthly expenditure for beauty goods. Okay, so we did. I made up a couple of carts here, okay? So I went on Sephora and I went onto their most popular, all right? And I added their most popular products that they have listed right now into the cart, all right? We've got a Armani foundation. We've got Natasha Denona concealer. We have a eyeshadow by Armani. We have a Dior eyeshadow. We have a Patrick Star setting spray. We have a Rhode lip pencil. We have a Sephora Collection eyeliner pen. We have Glow Recipe Neomicide Glow Drops. We have Charlotte Tilbury Finishing Blurring Powder. We have Patrick Ta blush. We have the Benefit Cosmetics Professional Primer. We have Tatcha Lip Tint. And we have the Rhode Pocket Blush, okay? And that is a grand total of, does it tell me, 13 items for $482, okay? And most people don't just do that once a year, okay? Now, let's say that you're looking at skincare. Let's say that you want to do your, 10-step skincare routine, right? And right now, the internet says, all right, wait, we're getting too hot here. All right, camera has cooled down. Battery has been replaced. Let's keep it going. So I don't remember where exactly I was at. We were talking about minimum spend and average income, and how, the average income right now, $65,000. Post-tax comes out to about $50,000. And with rent, utilities, and subscriptions, which was basically all I included, right? Rent, utilities, subscription services. And it already came out to $41,000 and some change, okay? And that's not including your delivery, right? That's not including gym or workout classes. That's not including student loans. That's not including credit card debt. That's not including nutritional supplements. That's not including makeup spend, your quote unquote little luxuries. It's not including the amount spent on cosmetic procedures, okay? That's just subscriptions, rent, utilities. All right? Like, what are we doing here? All right? And while my camera was cooling off, I did the math for what I'm calling premium, which means that you're making above average income. You're making about $150,000 a year, which ends up being around $98,000 to $100,000 after tax. Okay? So let's call it $100,000. You're either got $50,000 post-tax or you've got $100,000 post-tax. And for the six-figure income, I went ahead and bumped the rent up to what the average in New York City is, which is just over $4,000. And the average utility, $800. And I also bumped up the cost for things like your student loan, how much gym membership you're willing to pay, how much in supplements, and whether or not you're willing to pay for the convenience of not having ads on your subscription services. Okay, so when I tally up the quote unquote premium ad-free subscription services, when I tally up increased rent based off of, affluence and ability to live in a different geographical area, right? And higher utility cost, then we end up with the minimum spend if you're making about $100,000 post-tax being $66,000 a year. And again, I have not taken into consideration student loans. So let's do student loans for both of them. The average amount spent monthly on student loans is $410. Okay? That comes out to roughly $5,000 a year in student loans. And then let's say that you went to a nicer school or you got a second degree, then you could be paying about $550 a month. And that gets us to $6,500. So $6,500 if you are bougie. Okay? So now with just subscriptions, rent, utilities, and student loans, you're looking at so we're getting close, babies. So with student loans, at $100,000, you're looking at about $73,000 minimum. All right, if you include student loans, and this isn't including groceries. This is not including groceries. This is not including food. All right. I think I'm gonna do that math again. We're just gonna double check this, okay? Because I feel like this is outrageous and it's making me like lose my mind. All right, we're doing rent, we're doing utilities, we're gonna include loans this time. All right, we are going to include, here's our subscription services. Let's do, man, these things add up quick. 13, let's do, all right, so there's all of our subscription services. All right. And, okay. Hold on, no, that can't be right. That can't be right. I gotta do this again. 7, sorry, this is taking, like, all right, student loans, rent, utilities, and let's do this. Plus 14, plus 8, plus 12, plus 12, plus 15, plus 10, plus 12, plus 11. And, all right. So, before we even factor in food, bare minimum is $27.54. All right, and that's just for subscription services. Let's write this down. Rent, subs, utes, and loans. All right. So we're looking at $2,754. Bare minimum, average rent, average utilities, average loans, and bare minimum, you're gonna have ads, subscription services. That's all we added up, and it comes out to $2,754. Oh man, which equals 33,048. So roughly $33,000 a year just to get your subscription services and a roof over your head. You're not eating. You're going to starve because you haven't gotten your food budget yet. And that's a good thing because you also haven't factored in your gym membership yet and all of your nutritional supplements or your quote unquote little luxuries. So if that was all you were spending, baby, you're doing great. I mean, $33,000 baseline expenditure with a, after-tax income of about $50,000. That's spectacular. You're winning at life, sweet potato. But the problem is it's more than that, okay? Because if we start looking at having food delivery, all right? Let's say you have food delivery. You have 2 meals a week and for 4 weeks. All right. You're talking about $130, and that's just for food delivery. All right. You're talking about $150. So where are we starting out? We're starting at 2,754. That's our baseline, right? Then we're going to start adding in food. So let's say we're doing food delivery, which is, we'll call it a even, $200 for food delivery in a month for the average person, right? And I think they said average grocery expenditure is about $400 per person. So let's add that in. And then we're going to look at gym. So if you do baseline, you go to Planet Fitness, that's your gym, it's $25 a month, okay? And then let's say that you do 2 Pilates classes or 1 Pilates class a week, okay? So 1 Pilates class a week and you're going to Planet Fitness. You're talking about $90 a month for Pilates. So plus our $90 Pilates membership. And already, so if we just add in food and go into Planet Fitness and doing 4 classes of Pilates a month, we're already up to $3,500. All right, we're already up to $3,500. So, which is insane. All right, so $3,500 a month with your gym and 4 Pilates classes a month. And then let's say that you get a Starbucks a day, and not the most expensive Starbucks. Average cost for Starbucks, I think, is about $8. So we factored it in at $8. That's $248 a month. Okay, so let's say $250 for your coffee every day. And that's not a New York coffee, because coffee in New York is baseline, you're going to be paying about $10 to $12 wherever you're going, unless you're going to Starbucks. Okay. So we got our Starbucks in there now. We haven't factored in alcohol. We haven't factored in social life at all. But let's talk about nutritional supplements. So the average person spends about $56 a month on nutritional supplements. So let's say $56 for your average nutritional supplement. All right. And then let's say that you wear makeup, but you buy it on Amazon, right? And you're getting like Neutrogena, you might splurge on a nice mascara, but you're mostly wearing like Maybelline Neutrogena and, CeraVe is your moisturizer, right? So we did a little Amazon cart for that, and that came out to $249 a month, okay? All right. Because your serums and everything, you're going to go through that at, probably a fairly quick rate, all right? And let's say you're buying all of that on Amazon. So already, and this is not factoring in like alcohol, this is not factoring in cosmetic procedures that you may or may not have done. This is only factoring in the average for any of these things. This is not factoring in going out with your friends. This is not factoring in, the Labubus that you decided to blind box this month. Nothing. We've got $4,024. All right? $4,024 a month. If you go to the gym at Planet Fitness, you go to Pilates 4 times a month, you buy your coffee at Starbucks, and you get 2 meals by a meal delivery service every week, and everything else you're cooking at home. All right? That's what this is. 2 meals a week delivered by like Fresh Direct versus cooking everything at home. All right? But you still have to buy groceries because those are only 2 meals a week, right? So $4,024, which means we have already gotten to $48,000 and change for your monthly expenditures. All right. And that's not factoring in, did you go to Marshall's this weekend? Did you do a Shein haul? Average monthly expenditure per person in the US on Shein is $100 a month. Average spend on Amazon is $100 a month. And let's be really honest, we all know you're spending more than that. Okay? And that's not talking about how much you're spending at Sephora. If you're a VIB Rouge at Sephora, that means you're spending $1,000 a year at Sephora. Bare minimum. Bare minimum. All right? $48,000. That means that depending on your tax rate, you've already outspent your income. You outspent your income by $200 already. And if you haven't outspent your income, you're still only, with the lowest tax rate in the country, coming out with $53,000 post-tax. So you've got, in the year, little less than $5,000 in case something happens. Not including, like, did you go see Taylor Swift? Knock another $1,000 off. That means you got $4,000. Do you get your nails done all the time? Right? So let's say it costs $50 to get your nails done. You get them done once a month, and that's being generous. $600. That's if you pay $50. $50 to get your nails done once a month. $600 a year. All right. So there you go. There goes in basically another $1,000, right? So the $5,000 that you had left over, Taylor Swift, $1,000. Getting your nails done, another $600, right? Let's say you get your eyelashes done. Average eyelash expenditure is at least like $100. So another $1,000. We're moving through it quick, babies. We're moving through it quick, and you haven't put anything aside for savings. Nothing is being saved. Not a penny. Not a penny. And then you want to come out here and you want to complain about how it's barriers to financial independence that are put in place by the patriarchy. No, honey, it's not the patriarchy. It's your inability to keep your wallet closed and hold on to your pennies. Okay, that's what it is. Because that's ridiculous. And sure, then you could say, all right, well, let's say that was what I was spending, but then I get some raises, and now all of a sudden I'm making $150,000 a year, not $65,000 a year, right? Let's say that my income doubles. I'm not making 60 grand a year. I'm making 120 grand now, okay? And you cannot sit there and tell me that your expenditure did not increase as your income increased, because I know it did. I know it did, because I am you, okay? I am you. I know what you're doing. Stop it. It's why you're broke. It's not the man. It's not capitalism. It's your inability to keep that wallet closed. Close it. Stop it. You don't need all that stuff. Trust me, it's rotting your brain anyways. Get rid of it. You're going to be happier. Okay? And then you'll have more doll hairs in your pocket. And 10 years down the road, after you've invested in that index fund like I told you to, and you put $1,000 a year in there instead of into Sephora, guess what, baby? You will probably have at least 2x your money if the economy keeps going the way that it is. Okay? Actually, you probably will have done even better if the rate of, increase continues at the pace that it is. All right? 200% return if you invested in the market in the last 10 years. 200% return since 2015. Okay? Go take your money, put it in an index fund, and stop complaining about capitalism. Because it's not capitalism keeping you down. All right? Now, it's you out here spending money on all this. All right? On all this. Because I know you're also buying some other dumb shit. I know you are. I see you out here in the interwebs. You're posting about it. Stop it. Okay? Because this is ridiculous. This is ridiculous. You can do better than this. You deserve better than this. And nobody's keeping you down but you. Okay? So this video alone is coming up on 20 minutes, and I have no idea how long I rambled on in the first one. But this one really got me, guys. This one really got me. And y'all can do better. All right? So this is Financial Literacy 101 and how your consumption is what's keeping you broke. And it is part and parcel of Fox's micro solutions to fix your life, which include, but are not limited to, stop living on your phone. Okay? Get off. Go live a life. Go talk to your friends. Touch grass. I'm serious. Go do it. All right? Cancel your subscriptions. Get rid of them. Get rid of them. Do you know what I have? I have Spotify, and I have to pay $2.99 a month to Apple so that they don't delete all of my photos. Okay? And they're still threatening to delete all my photos. So, there we go. I don't even pay for YouTube because I don't care enough. I'll watch the ads, so I don't have to pay for YouTube. So, get rid of your subscription services. Get rid of them. We all know there's nothing good on there anyways. All right? So, stop paying them. Get rid of them. You really want to shove it up the man's butt and, really give government the finger? Stop giving them your money. All right? Stop giving them your money. Stop buying delivery. Learn how to cook. Learn how to cook. It's an excellent skill. You need to know how to survive. And by letting someone else dictate what you're putting into your body, you are giving them control over your health. All right? Stop it. Stop doing it. They want you fat and unhappy. That's the point. Stop letting them do it. Stop consuming. Stop buying stuff. You really mad about the state of the world and the state of the government and state of this and state of that and what you do and do not have? Well, baby, why do you keep buying things? How are you going to be complaining about Jeff Bezos, but Jeff Bezos gets all your dollars? All your dollars. Before you give yourself a dollar, you are giving Jeff Bezos his dollar first. So either stop complaining about it or unsubscribe and stop giving the man your monies. All right? Because it's not his fault that you keep opening up the wallet. Stop it. Feed your bank account first. All right? And for my boys, for my gentlemans, get off of DraftKings. Get off of it. And if any of you are on online phone games, if you're doing any kind of video gaming, don't be doing in-app purchases. Keep your dollars in your pocket, okay? You're going to be happier with them there. And once you start, especially once you start getting that compounding, what do we call it? We called it compounding, you want to be compounding your dollars, okay? We want these dollars to be growing. We want to accumulate a lot of them so that when you do put them in your IRA account, when you put them into your index fund, when you put them into your 401k. We want this to be getting bigger every time, because compounding interest over time is how you become wealthy. All right. So accruing that capital so that you can invest it, so that when, Elon Musk turns Tesla into a giant, trillion-dollar company, and he gets his trillion-dollar, pushback from, the shares that he owns in the company, you will too, because you will own Tesla, because you are going to be part of an index fund, which will own the S&P. All right. So in your pocket is Tesla, which means that when Tesla makes money, you make money. You know what's great about that too? It means that when Bezos makes money, you make money. All right. But until you have stopped spending your money so that you can accrue that cash that we want to be compounding, sit down, be quiet, and I don't want to hear it, because I can see it coming out. I can literally see the dollars flying out of your pocket. Stop it. Stop it, babies. It ain't worth it. It ain't worth it. And I'm telling you this because I am there. And I can tell you right now, it wasn't worth it. I would much rather have all of the money that I didn't save in my pocket right now than all of the physical things that I can't even remember where it went. Okay? So take my word on it. Stop spending money. It's going to be okay. Go live with your parents if you can. Save on the rent money. Just save up that 3-month nut and save up, a little nut to put into an index fund. Then go out into the world. But stop spending on stop it. Stop it. Because they want you to. All right? That's the secret. Everybody is trying to sell you and get you to separate from your dollars. So stop letting them win. All right? Because that's how you're letting them win, by doing that and not becoming financially literate so that you can go and make money when they make money. So go do that. Don't take my word for it. You can look all of this up. But get smarter, babies. Be classy, not trashy. And vote in your local elections. So that's it on this Wednesday. Hope it was a good one. If there's anything in here that I talked about that you want me to go in more in depth on, or you were confused about something, let me know. If you want to fight me about something, get into it in the comments. I'm so about it. Bump my numbers up. Yeah, do all the things. Do all of the things. Or don't. It is what it is. Peace out. Have a good hump day.